I hired a camper van for 3 weeks to drive the epic Queensland Coast Road Trip, 1,700 kilometres from Cairns to Brisbane, but squeezing in everything from diving the Great Barrier Reef to cruising the Whitsundays and driving on the beaches of the world's largest sand island is a huge dilemma, and you don't want to waste time or miss the stops that matter most. So in this video, I'm breaking down the perfect 15-stop itinerary, your exact blueprint to guarantee you don't miss anything out, with more beaches, rainforests, waterfalls and wallabies than you can shake a boomerang at. But even though I planned for months, there was one completely unexpected hidden gem I fell in love with and would have loved to have stayed longer. So stick with me till the end to find out where that is. But knowing the best stops is only half the battle. The real secret to nailing this trip, it's knowing when to go, where to stay, how to travel, and which tours to book. So I'll also share all the specifics with you in a Q&A later. And you can even download my free blueprint for the entire trip. So let's get started. Cairns is the tropical north's buzzing heart, and the perfect place to kick off this adventure. The city's a hub of energy, and it's the ideal starting point with its international airport and great transport links. It's also the gateway to the Great Barrier Reef, and straight from the marina, you can explore the world's most vibrant coral garden in all kinds of ways. Jump on a catamaran for diving and snorkeling between the best sights. Take an indigenous-led tour with sea rangers for a cultural deep dive. Or, if you want the ultimate bucket list moment, book a scenic helicopter flight and see the islands and reef from above. Personally, I chose this fantastic full-day cruise on a super yacht that visited 2 amazing outer reef locations for snorkeling, swimming, and a delicious barbecue lunch. And while you're here, just an hour further north along the Great Barrier Reef Drive is Port Douglas. The drive alone skims past stunning beaches like Palm Cove. Port Douglas itself is perfect for boutique shopping and more chances to hit the Great Barrier Reef. From here, you can also explore the Daintree Rainforest. It's the oldest tropical rainforest in the world, over 180 million years old. It's a treasure trove of flora and fauna, and there are all sorts of ways to explore, such as hiking, ziplining, and crocodile spotting. Or soar above the rainforest canopy on the Skyrail Rainforest Cableway. Another great place to check out is Fitzroy Island. You'll want 3 or maybe 4 days here minimum to pack it all in. Next, hit the road south. You can head down the coast or take a detour inland to check out the amazing waterfalls of the Atherton Tablelands. But a couple of hours driving is gonna bring you to Mission Beach. It's the only spot on Earth where 2 of the world's greatest natural wonders literally collide. The ancient wet tropics rainforest on one side and the dazzling Great Barrier Reef on the other. 14 kilometers of golden palm-fringed sand. It's pure, unspoiled Queensland magic. But the serene beauty of Mission Beach has another side to it. Adrenaline-pumping adventure. Skydive from a plane onto the beach, head into the heart of the rainforest for whitewater rafting, or explore the area on a jet ski or mountain bike. If you prefer to keep your feet on the ground, the rainforest trails are waiting. This is the Cassowary Coast, which means it's one of the only places you can spot the magnificent prehistoric southern cassowary in the wild. So keep your eyes peeled. Okay, buckle up for a drive of just under 3 hours, because next we're hitting a tropical city that overflows with community spirit and another incredible beach location. Stroll along the Strand in Townsville, grab a waterside beer at one of the many bars lining the foreshore, and climb Castle Hill to take in the killer views from the top. But the real star here is Magnetic Island. Just a 20-minute ferry ride away, over 2/3 of this island is protected national park. To get around in true island style, you simply have to rent one of the classic yellow mini-mokes. Lace up your hiking boots for the Forts Walk, where you might spot members of Northern Australia's largest colony of wild koalas chilling in the treetops. The island also offers incredible DIY snorkel adventures. The Nelly Bay Trail is ideal for beginners, but for stronger swimmers, the Snorkel Trail at Jeffrey Bay lets you dive over relics, including a German wreck which sunk here in 1913. This is also where you can feed the adorable rock wallabies at sunset. Give yourself at least 2 nights here, and if you have the time, take the extra 2-hour drive inland to check out Wallaman Falls, Australia's highest single-drop waterfall. It's staggering. 3 hours further south finds you in Airlie Beach, the gateway to the Whitsundays. And if discovering new places all over Australia and beyond sounds like your kind of adventure, don't forget to subscribe. The Whitsundays are 74 picture-perfect islands scattered like jewels in the heart of the Great Barrier Reef. You've got a couple of options for your stay. You can settle right here on the coast, where there are some great spots for campervans like Big 4 Airlie Beach or Island Gateway Holiday Park. Then you just grab an epic day tour. You absolutely must see Whitehaven Beach, 7 kilometers of blindingly white silica sand and the swirling turquoise beauty of Hill Inlet. The turquoise waters are perfect for snorkeling, diving, and sailing, and you can explore the coral reefs and the marine life that live there. I chose this full-day tour, which included an exhilarating ride by high-speed inflatable boat to Whitehaven Beach and Hill Inlet Beach for sunbathing and snorkeling. It was amazing, one of the best trips I did, and I couldn't recommend it enough. Or for total immersion, you can spend a night or two on one of the islands. Hamilton Island is a top choice for resort luxury and activities. Just remember, the islands are entirely car-free, so you'll need to leave your vehicle on the mainland. Trust me, trading your car for a boat or a scenic flight over the iconic Heart Reef is a very, very good deal. You'll want to give yourself at least a couple of days here. Next up, we're heading south to see kangaroos waking up on the beach at sunrise. Your drive from Airlie Beach to our next stop, Cape Hillsborough, is only around 90 minutes. And if you're travelling by camper, the perfect place to pitch up is the beachfront site at the Nature Tourist Park, so you can roll right out of bed at dawn. And it's the perfect spot because you'll want to be on the sand for sunrise. This is where wild wallabies and kangaroos emerge from the bush to hop right onto the beach. They come every morning to feast on mangrove pods left by the tide, and it's truly one of the most iconic, one-of-a-kind photo opportunities Australia offers. Once the animals retreat, you can hit the trails. Take the scenic 3-kilometre Andrews Point Trail for breathtaking ocean, island and coastal views from the lookout. And if the tide's out, you can stroll back along the beach. If you aren't camping, head 50 kilometres further south to the city of Mackay to find accommodation. The next stretch of the Pacific Coastway is a big one, but trust me, it's worth the 4-hour drive from Mackay to the amazing Capricorn Coast. Your base is Yeppoon, a laid-back coastal town that is all heart, perfect for slowing down and soaking it in. Before you relax, hike the 2.5-kilometre Bluff Point Circuit in the Capricorn Coast National Park. It's a spectacular walk, especially magical at sunset. But my must-do recommendation is a day trip to Great Keppel Island, just a 30-minute ferry ride away. It's got 17 of the most beautiful beaches to choose from and a colourful reef just off the shore. Wander Long Beach's squeaky clean sands, snorkel with turtles at Monkey Beach, or find your own private patch of paradise at Butterfish Bay. Want to earn your lunch? Then hike to Mount Wyndham for sweeping island views, or tackle the full-day lighthouse walk. And if you want to explore other islands and secret coves, there are plenty of boat tours, glass-bottom boats, kayaks and boom netting adventures to choose from. And if you time it right between June and October, you'll be sharing the sea with humpback whales on their East Coast cruise. I took this great little day trip tour, which was ideal because it included lunch and snorkeling gear, but I could still explore the island at my own pace. Whether you're here for a day or staying longer, Great Keppel Island is ridiculously relaxing, made for slow mornings, salty swims, and sunset drinks with sand between your toes. We've already covered some incredible stops. But to help you plan your own Queensland Coast Road Trip, I've produced a complete guide for you, covering everything in this video, plus essential info like the best transport options, rentals, tours and places to stay, so you can customize everything for your own time and budget. You can download the guide for free right now, using the link in the description below. Just 30 minutes from Yeppoon is Rockhampton, one of the prettiest towns on the Pacific Coastway, and proudly Australia's beef capital. It's also famous for its beautifully preserved colonial architecture, especially along the Grand Quay Street. For the ultimate view, drive up to Mount Archer National Park for spectacular sweeping views from the Noosa Circuit Boardwalk. Extending 25 metres off the side of Mount Archer, the 500-metre flat boardwalk offers spectacular views of the city and the mighty Fitzroy River. Now, if you chose a 4x4 rental car, this is where you cash in. Just north is Byfield National Park. It's where you'll find ample amounts of four-wheel driving spots on the white sandy beaches and your first taste of off-roading on the sand. And trust me, there's an even better place coming up later in the video. From the colonial history of Rocky, we're heading around 2.5 hours south to a beachside town famous for Captain Cook's Landing. And more importantly, your final chance to dive the Great Barrier Reef, the idyllic twin towns of Agnes Water and 1770. Agnes Water is a laid-back coastal town that packs a serious punch and is home to Queensland's most northern surf breaks. If you've ever wanted to learn to surf, this is your chance. If you chose the campervan option, check into the NRMA Holiday Park located right on the beach. While you're here, take the stunning Red Rock walking trail, and if you head out at sunrise or sunset, you might even spot some wild wallabies along the shores. Just down the road is 1770, a historic site marking Captain Cook's landing place, and your absolute last chance to dive, snorkel, or take a boat trip out on the southern Great Barrier Reef. I highly recommend a day trip out to Lady Musgrave Island. It's a beautiful coral cay renowned for next-level snorkeling and finding tons of turtles. You can get there from either Agnes Water or 1770. Seriously, don't miss this final piece of the reef before we move on to our next adventure. Okay, swap those snorkel fins for a tasting glass. We're heading to the city famous for its rum, its turtles, and its history. A 90-minute drive brings you to Bundaberg, home to Australia's most famous rum distillery, where you can tour the facility and even blend your own unique drop as a one-of-a-kind souvenir. But the true hero here is the wildlife. Take the short drive to Monrepos, which hosts the largest loggerhead turtle rookery in the southern hemisphere. From November to March, you can witness the incredible sight of hundreds of turtles nesting or thousands of hatchlings rushing to the ocean. And if you're visiting between June and November, this is also a prime spot to hop on a boat and join the humpback whale migration. This area is amazing at every turn, mixing up your trip with history, food, and unforgettable moments. Okay, it's time to move on to the next big coastal hub. But trust me, the island you can see from here is worth the entire road trip. It's just 90 minutes down the road to Hervey Bay, which is the ideal spot to base yourself for a visit to the world's largest sand island, Airlie. Fraser Island as it used to be known, and it's one of the most iconic and amazing stops on this entire trip. It's paradise with tire tracks, where Wi-Fi drops out and adventure begins, and where you can explore ancient rainforests emerging from sand dunes, swim in lakes so pure they sparkle, and tear along beach highways begging for four-wheel drive action. The entire island is only accessible with off-road vehicles, so if you have a 4x4, take it across on the ferry and camp. Or simply jump on a fantastic 1 or 2 day guided tour from Hervey Bay. But however you get there, make sure to drive the 75-mile beach highway and visit the eerie hulk of the Mahina shipwreck, which met her stormy end here in 1935. Float down Eli Creek, swim in the blue waters of Lake Mackenzie, or relax in the natural volcanic jacuzzi of Champagne Pools. And it's also Australia's whale-watching capital, so if it's July to October, this is the ideal stop on this road trip to book a tour to see the migrating humpbacks. Airlie is like nowhere else in Australia, and there are plenty of tour options available leaving from Hervey Bay or Rainbow Beach. But I'd seriously recommend a 2-day tour where you'll get to explore its best bits without the need to hurry. I loved it here. Airlie was the absolute highlight of the trip for me. Now, before we pull the pin on the Fraser coast, if you have a 4x4 and an extra day or two to spare, you need to hear about a serious bonus adventure, the Great Beach Drive. This 380-kilometre, 3-day journey runs all the way down to the Sunshine Coast, from Hervey Bay to Noosa. You'll drive across stunning white sand beaches, through idyllic national parks and World Heritage listed areas, spotting kangaroos, whales and turtles as you go. It is truly a once-in-a-lifetime beach driving experience. If you don't have the time or the vehicle for that epic loop, don't sweat it. You're heading straight down to the vibrant little town of Rainbow Beach. Sink your feet into the golden sand of the spectacular Carlo sandblow and marvel at the breathtaking views of Double Island Point, Gurry and the Inskip Peninsula, or even go sand surfing. And head to Double Island Point for more epic coastal views from the lighthouse and to kayak with dolphins. 90 minutes from Rainbow Beach and you hit the Sunshine Coast region with the sophisticated town of Noosa as your entry point. The atmosphere here is incredible. Head to Hastings Street, Noosa's buzzing hive of food and fashion. I highly suggest staying a couple of nights here. For the true campervan experience, take the short car ferry to Noosa North Shore Beach Campground. It's the only absolute beachfront spot. Make sure to try some local seafood and take in the sunset views from the Laguna Point Lookout. The jewel of Noosa is the national park. Walk along the cliff tops and drink in the breathtaking coastal views from the iconic headland and Noosa Heads. Spot dolphins frolicking in the ocean and take a dip in the famous fairy pools. The beaches here are second to none. So whether you're after gentle waves for the family at Mooloolaba Spit, rolling surf for paddleboarding or surfing at Noosa National Park, or a secret sandy stretch to call your own, the Sunshine Coast has you covered. We've done the beautiful beaches, but now we're heading inland toward the Sunshine Coast hinterland. Beerwah is a natural playground packed with wildlife encounters and volcanic views. The main event here is the Glass House Mountains. These 16 ancient volcanic peaks rise dramatically from the coastal plains and offer incredible photo opportunities. Hike the famous Mount Gun Summit Trail. It's a steep, rocky 3-kilometer return hike, but trust me, the panoramic 360-degree views from the top, stretching from the hinterland all the way to the ocean, are absolutely worth the effort. If you're after something less demanding but equally spectacular, head for the Wild Horse Mountain Scenic Lookout at sunset for iconic views of the volcanic plugs silhouetted against the sky. And for wildlife lovers, don't miss Australia Zoo, the home of the Irwins. Plan for a full day so you can see the huge crocodile shows and get those famous close-up encounters with native Aussie animals like kangaroos and koalas. You'll want a couple of days here to balance the hiking and exploring. From the ancient volcanic peaks of the hinterland, it's a short drive down the highway to our penultimate stop, Queensland's vibrant, welcoming capital city, Brisbane, one of the most chilled-out cities in Australia. The river is the heart of everything here, so start by taking a walk along the Brisbane River and soaking in the sun at the beautiful South Bank parklands and the gorgeous botanic gardens. Check out the architecture, atmosphere and culture of the CBD. And head to the brand new Kangaroo Point Bridge for more Great River and city skyline views. Soak up the buzz at the Howard Smith Wharves on the riverbank under the Story Bridge and settle in for dinner and drinks at Felon's Brewery. Or check out the eclectic food and entertainment scene at the weekend at the open-air Eat Street North Shore Market. You could easily spend 3 or 4 days here, but for a full list of the best things to do, make sure you download my travel guide, which includes the 30 top things to do in and around Brisbane. But the one place you can't miss is the Mount Coot summit. Set your alarm early and head up there for sunrise. It's only a 20-minute drive from the CBD. From the lookout, you get a spectacular panorama of the city skyline stretching out to Moreton Bay and the scenic rim. It's the perfect final view of Queensland before our last stop. Okay, it's time for the final iconic stretch of the Pacific Coastway. Just 1 hour down the highway from Brisbane is the sun-drenched, high-rise legend of the Gold Coast. Gold Coast is consistently one of Australia's top destinations, spanning 57 kilometres of coastline. I actually ditched my camper van back in Brisbane because you simply don't need it here, and it was easy to get to the Gold Coast from the city by train. You could easily take a day trip from Brisbane or do yourself a favour and stay for a couple of nights. It's a fantastic year-round destination. The key to the Gold Coast is choosing your vibe. North or south? The north is for action. Head to Surfers Paradise, which provides entertainment, great nightlife, river cruises and retail therapy, and of course, perfect surf beaches. I prefer the south, which is more laid back, focusing on nature and surfing. My top pick here is Burleigh Heads, which has a chilled vibe, great eateries and fantastic surf. The Gold Coast is famous for its world-class surf breaks, so if you've never tried, you should definitely book a surf lesson. And if it's June to October, look out for migrating humpback whales from the lookout at Burleigh Hill. Round off your trip with a couple of days chilling out here and relax at one of the Gold Coast's beachside watering holes to soak in the views of this amazing stretch of coastline. But knowing the best stops on this epic drive is only half the battle, because you're also going to want to know the best time to go, how long to plan for, what to budget, and how to save money on tours and rentals. So let's quickly unpack those questions. And you can also get a ton more detail in my free Queensland Coast Travel Guide. It's a great resource for helping you plan your trip, where I go into everything you're going to need to know in detail. It's totally free, and I've left a link for you in the description below. Now for those questions. First up, when is the best time of year to go? I recommend planning for the shoulder seasons, spring or autumn. That's September to November and March to May. You get pleasant weather, fewer crowds, and lower prices. September and October are the best time for whale watching. You definitely want to avoid peak summer from December to February, when the tropical north is extremely hot, humid, and wet. How long should you plan for this trip? To really experience everything we've talked about, you need at least 10 to 14 days. But if you have the time and budget, 3 weeks is much better. That lets you spend a few days in incredible spots like Airlie or the Whitsundays. If your time is limited, do fewer stops to enjoy the best ones properly. My guide gives you the ideal itineraries for 10, 14 and 21 days. Let's talk transport options. I love the freedom of the camper van. It saves money and nothing beats camping right on the beach. I rented with Juicy, and you can find all the detail of my rental in the guide. But renting a car and stopping at Airbnbs is another great option. For budget, the Greyhound bus is there, but you sacrifice the ability to stop when you see something awesome. People also ask if it's possible to do this trip from south to north. And of course you can always start in Brisbane or the Gold Coast. Another option is to extend the trip further south. Think Byron Bay, Sydney, or even Melbourne. Now when it comes to booking tours, if there's a tour you really want to do, like the Great Barrier Reef, make sure to book early. I book all mine through Viator. They have a massive selection. I love the free cancellation policy, and you can use those real traveller reviews to book with confidence. I've linked all the tours I've mentioned in the description below, and also in the downloadable travel guide, so check it out. And the million-dollar question, how much should you budget? This depends so much on your travel style, when you go, and how you build your trip. So definitely check out my guide for this, because I've broken down budgets for my entire trip and options for 2 and 3 week itineraries as well. Now the Queensland Coast Drive is epic, but you can't visit Australia and not spend time in at least one of its iconic cities. So check out this video next for how to spend the perfect 3 days in the amazing city of Sydney. With that said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and download the guide. And I'll see you on the next video.